Hello everyone, so today we're going to be taking a look at some of the absolute best self-seeding perennials in the garden. This is just going to be a list of those types of perennials that can self-seed freely around the garden, basically giving you free plants, which is always a huge bonus. I really love these ones. I love the fact that you don't have to worry about taking the seeds each and every year and kind of growing them yourselves. They'll just kind of do their own thing, which just feels very natural out here in the garden. So these are some of my absolute favorites, definitely ones that I would recommend you get in your own garden. By the way, we're currently trying to hit 5,000 subscribers, so if you like gardening, definitely subscribe. We'd absolutely love to have you here. Now, just to be clear, this isn't a definitive list of all self-seeding perennials. This will just be some of my favorites that I actually have in my garden, and I'm also going to share what conditions they like as well. But most of these are fairly unfussy plants given the fact that they self-seed so readily. So why don't we start things off with what I would consider to be the absolute king, which is Verbena bonariensis. Now mine is still coming up. It's not as tall as it will be. It'll get these beautiful tall purple flowers at about 6 foot tall. But really, you can't do any better for self-seeding than Verbena bonariensis. Now, this plant self-seeds so much that some people might even consider it to be a bit of an annoyance. Personally, I love it because I just love to get free plants. I think that's absolutely great. But yeah, Verbena is definitely one of those types of plants that will just self-seed absolutely everywhere in your garden. So definitely be ready for that to be a possibility for a plant like this. However, I really like it. I'm a big fan of it. It gets nice and tall. It's nice and airy. I think it's perfect for sort of prairie borders, but also cottage borders as well. And with this one, I can actually show you what it looks like when it self-seeds. So in my greenhouse, I do actually have some little verbena seedlings, which I've picked up from the ground. Now, you don't have to pick them up from the ground, but it can be a good idea. So here we go. This is what it's going to roughly look like, a little bit smaller than this. It'll probably be just about the same size as like sort of, you can put your finger over it basically when it starts off. But as you can see, it's pretty similar to the parent plant. If we take it over and we sort of compare the kind of leaves, we can, sort of get that kind of impression of it already. So a lot of self-seeding perennials, it can be kind of hard to tell. Unfortunately, what they've come from, it's not always the easiest, but some are a lot easier than others. You do sometimes have to wait a little bit of time to actually see what they're coming through as, so it's not always, immediate to be able to tell. You might mistake something for a weed, but with some of them, it's definitely a lot easier. And with this, we can easily see this is a Verbena seedling. Next, we have Brunnera Jack Frost, which is pretty much just stopping flowering here in June, but you can see it's got these little blue forget-me-not-like flowers. It's got this amazing foliage with these huge leaves. I absolutely love this. You can also get Brunnera with the more basic leaves, which also looks really nice. And yeah, this one will be fairly easy to tell when it self-seeds because its leaves are so distinctive. So this is another really great one, in my opinion, that just looks absolutely fantastic, self-seeded around the garden in very natural places. Yeah, this is a really special one. I absolutely love it. I think this is exactly the sort of type of plant I would want to self-seed pretty much everywhere. You might want to move them around a bit, just in case, some end up self-seeding all the way back there somewhere. You might want it closer to the edges and such. But yeah, Brunnera Jack Frost and just the Brunnera family in general are really nice. They're sort of perennial forget-me-nots, we'll call them. So they're definitely fantastic ones that you would absolutely want everywhere in your garden, in my humble opinion. Next, we have a grass, which is Stipa tenuissima. This one self-seeds very freely as well. Has these little sort of seeds that will come off the top of these heads of grass. This is a really fantastic prairie-style plant. It, of course, likes more dry conditions, and it's very tactile. It's got good texture to it. I really love these, and I've got loads of them throughout the garden. I just think they look so perfect. And yeah, I really love them. So if you're looking for a grass that can self-seed quite easily, then Stipa tenuissima might be a good one for you to have. I'm not sure if there's any particular variants. I know one is called ponytails. Sometimes they call it that. So that could be a good one to look out for. But yeah, definitely get yourself some Stipa tenuissima if you want to have a self-seeding grass. Not in flower yet, but we do have the Eryngium sea holly. This one comes up with these sort of spiky looking flowers. Very nice. They're blue colored and it'll get a little bit taller and bushier than this. And this is a really great one for self-seeding. This one definitely self-seeds very freely around the garden. Again, definitely a plant that you would want more of, in my opinion, as it looks good in big sort of groups. That's why I've got mine kind of grouped up here in a free. Yeah, really, really nice. Sort of prefers dry conditions. You might be surprised by that, given the fact it's called a sea holly. But no, it does actually prefer dry conditions around the gardens. This is definitely one that you would want to keep in those types of conditions. But yeah, I really, really love it. I think it's an absolutely fantastic one, and I'm sure you would as well. So definitely consider getting yourself some of this Eryngium. I can't remember the name. I think this one is called Blue Hobbit, maybe. There's a few different varieties. Some are hardier than others, but this is one that I like a lot. Next, we have Salvia Caradonna. Unfortunately, mine has really flopped over in all this rain that we've been having, so the shape of it looks a bit odd at the moment, which is frustrating. But as you can see, the bees absolutely love it. Salvias are really good at self-seeding generally, especially these Caradonna types, which are, I believe, Salvia nemorosa. So I've got another one called Pink Beauty. There's also one here called Salvia Schneehugel, which is pretty similar. And this one also self-seeds, I believe. Yeah, they're really, really good. They flower prolifically. They will drop out the seeds and they're fairly easy to grow. I've seen actually some popping up in the borders here and there, just, randomly, which is nice. So yeah, they're definitely one of my absolute favorites. I mean, they're so beloved by the bees, as you can see, like they're one of the pollinators' absolute favorites in the entire garden. So this is definitely one that you'd want for them, but it's also just one that's great to have, as a display. It looks so fantastic. It's really, really pretty. And then, of course, I think it looks great paired with the Salvia Schneehugel, the purple and whites kind of contrasting each other. Yeah, I absolutely love this one. I definitely recommend getting yourself quite a few of these. There is more in here. They're just still kind of waiting to flower as they're a little bit behind. The bees will thank you, but also you'll get yourself lots of free plants out of it as well. So it's really just a win-win situation. Next, we have Knautia arvensis. This one is basically a perennial scabious type plant. And again, it's absolutely beloved by pollinators. They really, really enjoy this one. It's super airy, pretty tall, not quite 6 foot, maybe like sort of 5 foot, just below 5 foot. And yeah, it's really, really good. I love the purple colors. You can also get a red one called Nautia Macedonia. These ones self-seed so easily. You should be able to tell fairly early on because they've got these almost like spiky type of foliage that you can see at the bottom there. So I don't think you'll struggle too much being able to tell what they are. This plant is, I want to actually say, fairly high maintenance if you want it to look its best. As you can see, it sort of dies off very quickly and the heads go like this. And then you do need to deadhead those if you want it to keep coming back all year. It will literally come back all summer long if you do deadhead it consistently. So it's up to you whether that's something you want to do or not. I do think it's absolutely worth doing. As you can see, once again, the pollinators really love this one. So yeah, definitely another plant that I would absolutely recommend. One, to spend a bit of time on, deadheading and such, but it will reward you by self-seeding and also reward you just by looking absolutely stunning. Maybe do get a plant support for it. As you can see, I've got a little swelly one just to keep it upright. I think it looks a lot better upright. My Nautia Macedonia, which is kind of over there in this corner behind, is going crazy because it doesn't have proper plant supports. So yeah, that might be something to keep in mind. Alchemilla mollis is another great one that self-seeds. This one is very low growing. It can kind of handle almost like shady conditions. It can definitely handle wet soils as well. It's got this really pretty feature actually where the raindrops kind of bounce off it like this and they kind of stay on the leaves, which just looks so nice. And it's got these sort of yellowy lime green kind of flowers on it, which is really pretty. This one will self-seed very readily and you should be able to tell fairly early on that it has because, I mean, look at those leaves. They're very distinctive. They, have a sort of interesting kind of almost like a lily pad in a way, not quite as circular, but they remind me of that a bit. Yeah, you should be able to tell fairly early on that these have self-seeded around your garden. And, I think it's an absolutely great one to have. Will tolerate so many different conditions. It's great ground cover as well. So that's absolutely fantastic. I love having lots of ground cover plants that can really, fill out a space nicely. And this is definitely one that I think does that job really well. So definitely another great one to have in the garden. We also have Achillea. This one is Achillea Cloth of Gold, or this one might actually be Gold Plate. They're pretty much the same. I've got a bunch of Cloth of Gold at the back of the garden here, which gets very tall, pretty much up to sort of 5 foot, maybe a little bit taller next year. It'll come up with lovely yellow flowers. If I kind of bring you over here, we can see some of them that have just started. There we go. Yeah, they'll pretty much look like this. They're really, really nice. These are great. These are absolutely fantastic. And, they'll provide you with a lot of joy. They can definitely self-seed very readily because these sorts of plants are almost kind of wild, especially here in the UK. We have a lot of yarrow, Achillea, and yeah, so they self-seed very readily across the garden. You'll find them in lots of different spaces. They're very easy to grow by seed as well if you want to collect the seeds. They do like full sun, and you probably will need to support them a bit because these ones just grow so big and tall, and especially when it starts to rain, they really start to flop over, unfortunately, as I'm learning now. So, yeah, but I absolutely love it. One of my favorites. Whilst we're over here, we've got the Erigeron karvinskianus, the Mexican fleabane, I believe some people know it as. This is almost like a daisy-like plant. Well, it is, and it's really lovely. I mean, this is a plant that can go almost anywhere. It'll kind of self-seed where it wants to. You can't really force this. So you might find that you plant it in places and it has a sulk, but then it will randomly just self-seed itself into some crack in a wall somewhere and do fine. It's great. This is definitely one of the best natural self-seeders because it really will go exactly where it wants. It won't be told where to go. So yeah, if you've been struggling to get this one to grow, it might unfortunately be the case that it just doesn't like your garden, and sometimes we can't force that. They always seem to do well in my garden for some reason, although I haven't really seen them self-seed that much, which is a sign that maybe the soil conditions here aren't their absolute favorite. But they're very odd. They're very odd and fussy. Like I said, sometimes they'll grow in the most odd places where you couldn't even imagine a plant growing. There's pretty much no soil. But, then other times they'll do really well. So it's kind of hard to say. Next, we have Verbena Bampton, which is really pretty. Not in flower yet, but this will come up with beautiful little sort of pink flowers, very similar to the Verbena bonariensis. It's part of the same family. This one also self-seeds well, and again, it should be fairly easy to find the self-seeded little ones because of this very dark foliage. So very quickly, that's going to look exactly how you would picture it here, which is really useful to know. So again, this is another one that I really love out in the garden. I've got quite a few of them here. It's a very, very pretty plant. It doesn't grow as big as the bonariensis. It kind of more bushes out, as you can see. It'll get a little bit bigger than this, though. But yeah, it's definitely one of my absolute favorites. I think this is a must-have in my garden, and it'll look really, really nice as it kind of self-seeds around. It's definitely a good one. This isn't a perennial, this is an annual, this is Cosmos, but I wanted to mention it here because it's one of the absolute best self-seeders. It's so easy to grow from seed yourself, which I do every year because they're so easy. But something I love about this one self-seeding is so quickly you can tell what it is because of this sort of spiky looking foliage, which isn't actually spiky at all. So yeah, I really, really love Cosmos. So many pretty colors you can get for them. A really natural and airy plant. Even though it's not perennial, it self-seeds pretty much every year in all kinds of different places. So it almost feels perennial in that you can kind of expect them to come back in their own way each year, which is fantastic. So yeah, those are just some of my favorite self-seeding perennials that we've got in the garden at the moment. Definitely let me know in the comment section down below what some that you have, as I would absolutely love to hear. If you enjoyed this video, then definitely subscribe, as I'd absolutely love to have you here on the channel. And I'll catch you next time for more gardening content.